From our perspective, what has been very important, we have to keep the lights on. So if we can do that successfully, that's a big issue for us. It creates a lot of focus and effort in the company. We're now posting our third year of very strong financial performance. 13.2 billion rand worth of profit. We've managed our costs within what the regulator has said. And all of that is very important in terms of investing in the business and creating a very stable Eskom. We've also indicated that we have a role in this economy broader than just creating electricity and supplying it. We also have a socio-economic role. We've achieved 4.2 million household connections in terms of electrification. We've done 155,000 households in the last year, and we spend over 72 billion rand on broad-based black economic empowerment. And all of those factors are crucially important, and the last one is obviously job creation and skills development. And Eskom has done quite well in both of those.
Can you give us an update on the Medupi power station and how testing is going there?
We have indicated that last Friday the President joined us for a great event, which was the final phases of our first boiler pressure test. And actually today, hopefully tonight, that come to an end. That would signify the fact that the boiler mechanically is sound and will now lead us up to commissioning the rest of the system towards first power next year.
Issues have been raised around Eskom's supply of coal. Do you see this as a problem?
I think in the short term it's an issue. Having coal as half of our cost structure, as we indicated today, so it plays a big role in terms of electricity prices. So the maintaining coal costs at single digits would be very important. Maintaining the right volumes of coal would be important, and the right quality. Because of our fleet, it needs better and more consistent quality coal. And because coal is so important, a part of ensuring power security in South Africa, it is a very strategic issue for the country to deal with.
Let's talk about power security. That has been raised as an issue. What is being done to ensure that South Africa has a stable supply of energy?
We have indicated that since 2008 we have kept the lights on in South Africa. We have indicated that we have a 340 billion rand capital program to address this. We've commissioned over 5,700 megawatts of new capacity. We've built transmission lines all over the country and have an assignment of an additional 12,000 megawatts. All of that focused on how do we make sure for now we save energy. So, the demand side programs are very important. And we run one of the world's largest demand side programs, energy efficiency programs, and at the same time start investing in new capacity for the future.
Eskom's capital expenditure program, has funding been secured, and can you give us an idea of some of the investment going forward into the SADC region?
The funding has been secured. We had a funding plan of 300 billion rand. Of that, 78% is secured. That means concluded, the agreement's done. We have a very strong financial position that allows us to access both local and financial markets. And so up to Kusile, we're comfortable that we have the funding secured. Our expansion within the subcontinent is really to exploit the rest of the opportunities. There's significant hydro, there's significant need to connect through transmission networks the whole of the subcontinent, as well as the gas projects, and those are the ones that we'll certainly be exploring.
What are the Department of Energy's plans for nuclear power in South Africa, and how will Eskom be involved?
From a nuclear perspective, the Integrated Resource Plan, which maps out South Africa's 20-year electricity plan, indicates an additional 23% of nuclear capacity. And so it will play a big role in terms of baseload power in South Africa. From an Eskom perspective, we, the only nuclear operator on the continent, have done so for many years. And certainly it would be our aspiration, it's government's decision, but our aspiration that we would want to play a role in terms of future nuclear.
Can you give us an indication of price tariffs going forward and Eskom's push for cost-reflective price tariffs?
It's not an Eskom issue around cost-reflective tariffs. Cost reflectivity of any product within an economy is crucially important in order to make sure that you have the proper use of the product and that it's properly funded. And increasingly going forward, it's more than just Eskom. We have an introduction of the private sector players in the market. We are busy finalizing our price application. We've not decided exactly what that number should be, but we certainly believe that we need to take an approach over a longer period of time, most probably 5 years, and then see a smoothing of tariff increases over that period.
You touched on the private sector. To To what extent has the Independent Power Producers Program contributed to South Africa's grid, and are there any other plans to promote private sector participation?
Yeah, the future plans is that roughly about more than 30% of the IRP would be done by the private sector. You have seen the Department of Energy announce the first phase of the renewables energy of 1,400 megawatts and the second phase. We have indicated in our results that for last year we have procured 1,000 megawatts from the private sector at about 77 cents for every unit of electricity. So we clear as Eskom alone, we cannot deal with South Africa's energy needs, and you would need a combination of Eskom and the private sector. My view is that Eskom will remain in this market to be a dominant player.
Finally, are you able to give us an update on Kusile Power Station and also some of Eskom's priorities going forward?
Kusile, we set the first power out of Kusile towards the end of 2014, beginning of 2015. That is still on track, and then that station should continue until about 2019, where it should be completed. Our priorities for next year is quite clear. It's on one hand, 5 issues. Safety is a big issue for us. The safety of our employees and our contractors. We have to make sure the light stays on in South Africa. That's crucial for the growth and in the country. Thirdly, our financial viability and how we approach MYPD3, taking full cognizance of the impact of that on the poor communities in South Africa and the impact of that on our growth and job creation. Number 4 for us would be the commissioning of Madupi's first unit and moving that to a stage where we have that done by next year. And lastly, a continued focus on operational excellence and greater efficiency in our business. And those are the 5 things we'll be focused on.